What's up, guys? We got a whole bunch, well, 8 things to install on that truck back there. 8 shocks. And the reason that we're installing 8 shocks is because there's 8 shocks on it already. Sorry, I'm just letting it warm up a while. I haven't driven it in like a week. Those orange shocks are the shocks that were on it when I bought it. Obviously it has dual shock hoops in the front, but it has 3 shocks per side in the front, 1 per side in the rear. That means I have to replace 8 of them. So what I went with is the Bilstein 5100s. Obviously some unique ones for the front. These are like from like an 80s Blazer, I think. The little nubs here are a little too long. Gonna have to cut them down, not a big deal, but these will fit in the front. These are gonna look so much nicer than that orange. I'm gonna start off with the rear because that seems easier. Ew. That wasn't too bad. Bolts weren't all rusted in there or anything. Let's check these out compared to the new ones. Well, at least aesthetically, this is gonna be a huge upgrade. These old nasty, dirty things. And these aren't rebounding very well anymore either. I'm gonna hit those spots where these were with some paint because I couldn't paint that when I did the frame before because obviously the shocks were in the way, but now that they're removed, put a little paint in there. While we wait on the paint to dry in the rear, we're gonna work on the front, which is probably gonna be a paint. Bolt stuck in there. Yes. All right. Got it. Bottom bolt is completely out. Just have to get this top one, which is a little more difficult to access. All right. Going better than expected. Whew. I thought these would be the hardest part, so we'll see about that. Look how gross that is. This one's definitely leaking. See all that fluid on there? Again, just gross and old. Clean this up, paint it, do the same on the other side, and then reinstallation. Right, all 8 shocks off of the truck. Now it's time to just put 8 shocks back on. The pull, one side, done. We ran out of daylight and time, so I got all the front done. Both sides, all 6 shocks in the front are done. I just have to do the rear. The rear should take like 10 minutes. The rear was super easy, had no issues. The front was a job and a half. Just because it has those extra shock hoops, it just took that extra amount of time to get all the bolts lined up, the uppers, the lowers, and get everything into place. Obviously, you guys know how new shocks are. They're very hard to compress. So to compress everything to get it to fit in where it needed to fit, that was a hassle. And I was doing it all basically by myself. So that made it a little more difficult. The sun went down, ran out of light, had some other things to do. So now we're gonna finish up the rear today, give the truck a wash, and go for a drive and see how everything works out. See if anything is any different. I'm not a big believer in simply just changing shocks will make a big difference in your ride quality. Could it make a difference? Yes, but it's a truck with leaf springs and torsion bars. So I don't have like super high hopes that this is gonna ride like a brand new truck. Will it ride nicer? Yes, but it's just something that needed done. Plus it looks so much nicer now. Easiest part of this whole process by far. Just look at the visual improvement alone is worth it.
New shocks to go along with the nice color matched diff cover and coated frame.
What do you see? Now it's time to give this thing a much needed bath before we go for a little drive in it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's up, bud? All right, we got the big girl all cleaned up, looking pretty fresh. I like to pressure wash the underside of the truck too, get the soap up there with the foam sprayer, get all that dirt and grease and grime out of there. It is winter season coming up here shortly. Now I think I'm gonna try something new this winter, which I haven't done before. I'd like to try out some sort of undercarriage protectant. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I'm thinking something like a fluid film seems to get really good reviews, and it just coats the underside, protects all the work I did on the frame earlier this year, and will just keep it protected. I don't want any rust or any, not that it has rust, but like surface rust. I don't want any surface rust, anything like that. I don't want to have to recoat the frame again. Take a look at these shocks though. It's looking so nice and fresh under there compared to what it was. Now I will say this, the front loop shock seems to be, they seem to be a hair long. You can see the boots are kind of jumbled up a little bit. There's not a whole lot of travel in these. I got the exact same size that were on there, the same travel, the same collapse length, and the same extended length. What I didn't realize is that's probably for when the truck was lifted a little higher, when the guy had the keys up more than they are now. You comfy? So we'll see if they end up causing an issue. I'll get slightly shorter shocks and swap them in. Won't be the end of the world. Don't feel like doing it, but if it's a problem, I'll fix it. All right, first drive with the new shocks. Kind of a cold one this morning. So far, driving around just some parking lots and stuff here, it seems to ride better, I think. I haven't noticed anything, any shocks bottoming out or anything like that. It feels maybe like a little tighter. Maybe like when you like do like a, you know, like a side to side kind of thing, like maybe seems a little tighter there. And yeah, feels nicer. I'm about to hop on the highway. We'll see what that's like. I'd imagine I'm not really gonna feel a huge difference on the highway. If I had a word for it, I would say it feels refreshing. You know, it's still a big lifted truck from the early 2000s, so it's not gonna ride great, really, no matter what you do. It seems to ride a little bit better, I'd say. So I'm actually on the way to Cops, Canines and Coffee in Harrisburg. A little car truck show. Actually pretty nice out today. So I figured, why not get up and head to this show? There's gonna be a bunch of other people there for a good cause. I went out and got some toys for the kids when I was doing my errands. So come out, donate a toy. I will say I'm driving here on the highway, and on the highway the truck feels pretty much exactly like it did before, because, you know, it's a sort of smooth, straight road. Overall, I'd say the upgrade was probably worth it on this truck specifically. You know, the shocks were pretty old. I've had this truck 5 years or so. The shocks have been on there the whole time I've had it. Who knows how long those shocks have been on before I bought it. You know, these shocks, for all I know, could be 10 years old. The main thing is, it looks so much better. There's no more orange. No more orange and red on the truck. It's all gone. That was the last of it. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Just got here and it is packed. I'm like parked like way in the back. There's so many people here. Big turnout, which is good. Probably because of the weather. I mean, it's like 50 degrees out and it's December, so walk around and see what's here. It's gonna be a lot of good stuff.